I'm Anke. For those who don't know that, Anke van Doren. My marriage name is Dill, so just so you know. But I'm on YouTube as my own name I got at birth. I just wanted to do this for a long time now, like not necessarily do a podcast or anything, but just like a daily thought thing. Well, I don't want to do it daily because I don't have the time, but just talk about stuff that like comes in my path. Like there's a lot of things in my life that I want to talk about, like depression. That's less fun. Having special needs kids because I have two and I have two children, so that says enough. Um, well, I want to talk about tattoos because it's fun. I mean, we don't have to always talk about something serious, and just life in general. Like things happen to me sometimes, and it's just I need to get it out. So let's start off today with actually a pretty serious one because it's been coming up my path like a lot again last few days, and it's suicide. I know a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but it is something you need to talk about. Like I even had a discussion today with somebody, and he said like somebody committed suicide. And he said, like, well, you couldn't see it. He was always the cheerful one and all that kind of stuff. And I said to him immediately, but that's the point. There are people that are really thinking about stuff like that. They don't want other people to feel sad the way they feel sad, or they want to hide it because they're ashamed of it because it's still a taboo. And they play the funny one. Like, they play the comedian. If you notice, they also do a lot of like self comic, like talk about themselves, like jokes that like not worth it, stuff like that. That's most of the time a moment that you might just ask yourself, like, are you really okay? And some people just do it because they like it. Just don't worry. There are still people that can just have self mark. I don't know what it is. Self knowledge, some people call it. Like, if you know who you are, be proud of it, even the the minus things. For me, suicide also has like a double meaning because in 2019 I almost took my own life. I didn't, but it was a moment where I was like, okay, it's not going well with me. Like I was the same. Like to the outside world, I was the joker. I was trying to make it fun, but for me, it was like a downward cycle. Like something was not going well, and it was everything that had happened in the years that like I just never learned to cope with stuff. I just pushed it away and just thought like I'll just put it in a little canister there and it's over. But that's not how it works. So that's why I also wanted to talk about it. Like talk about it. Like if there's something in your life that really, really bugs you, talk, and you don't have to talk to like a friend. If you're like, I want to talk to a therapist, don't be afraid of therapist. If you have a feeling that you're not being listened to by a therapist, yes, it's time to get a new therapist. So that's being said because that is a thing also. Like I grew up and it was kind of like if you went to a therapist, there was something wrong with you. Like you weren't okay. And in a way, you're not, but there's nothing wrong with you. Like, if you see how much people have to deal with on a daily basis nowadays, it's normal to be overwhelmed. It's normal to not know how to deal with certain things. It's okay. It's and a therapist because most of the times it's not a family member. it's not a friend, a coworker. They see things in a more, like, how do you say it, outside view. Like, family will always be like, oh, you're right, or they'll talk with you, or they're the opposite. They don't even want to know about it, or they do the same as what you did, just shove it away. And a therapist can see, like, no, but what you're doing isn't right, or maybe you should try this approach, because they have the tools. And I had a good therapist. He was funny. One time I was just, because I was so out of it, I didn't really notice certain things in people anymore. What I do now again, thank God. But apparently he was yawning the entire thing, and I was like, I didn't even notice. And in the end, he said, like, well, sorry if I was yawning a lot. It's not that you weren't interesting. Your story was interesting, but he just had a baby apparently, so he didn't sleep. And I really thought that I know that yeah, that's. But I just didn't notice he was yawning. I didn't, because I missed things like that, and now I see them again, and it's good to know that I see them again, because it also lets me see things from people again, and I start to recognize things again. Like, when I was really in my downfall, I was really trying to find something that I was obsessed about, and some people still think that music is my obsession, but or a band, but no, it was that was different. I had something else that had my obsession, and plus I started to drink like crazy. So I lost a lot of weight in that period. That was because I couldn't eat from the stress, how I was depressed, but I was drinking like an idiot. So I might have been skinny, but I was not healthy. No, 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 no. And I'm starting to see that more in people now. Also, the difference between just drinking for funs and, like, to have a good time, or to drink because you wanna not think about something. That's a big difference. Like, you try to cope with something and you're like, well, that's the way I cope. But you're not coping it. You're just getting drunk off your ass, trying to forget everything. But guess what? When you sober up in the morning, the problems are still gonna be there. And some might not even be problems, because in your head everything is a problem. That's how it works. That's how life works. I mean, what could be a problem for you may not be a problem for me. And that's where a lot of people don't feel that they get understood in that way, because you can tell somebody, like, oh, this is my problem, and to them it might be something so minor, and they're like, well, why is that a problem for you? Like, just get over it, like, whatever. But it might not be for you. And again, that's okay. Your feelings are valid, and you're allowed to tell them that your feelings are valid. I don't know how to say it, like, because that's the same with that. Somebody would say to you, like, yeah, but you know, there's always people that are have it worse than you, and I'm like, I said it a lot too. I'm guilty of all those things. I had to learn those too. So it's not. I'm not saying that you're a bad person if you say it, but that's easy to say. Like, there's always somebody who has it worse than you, of course. But it's the way that you feel it. Like, that's how bad it is. Like, somebody could lose a leg and be like, uh, it's okay, I still got my other leg. But for somebody else, that could be the end of the world. Like, they were an athlete and they can't do that anymore. Like, see the difference? I mean, if you lose a leg, it's very, very dramatic. So don't say that. Still. But it's your coping mechanism, and also it is okay to moan. I don't know if that's a good English word. I'm Dutch, so if something Dutch comes out of it, but it's okay to have that process. You lost something, and it's the same with like a relationship. If a relationship ends, it's okay to have those feelings and to be like you lost something valuable because in a way you did. It was important to you. So, it's actually kind of the same. So, yeah, just talk. Keep talking. Very important. Keep talking. I learned that too because I was just like, again, I was shoving it away and it ended in me like bursting. Like it was the end. It was really the end. And it kind of gave me a eating disorder in that way because I couldn't eat. And in a way, I thought that was the good way. Like I was finally skinny, so at least I looked good. But if I look back, okay, I looked skinny, but I didn't see a happy one. And in the mirror, I was still feeling big. And I gained a bit of weight again. But I am happier, healthier. So in a way, I'd rather have that little extra fat. Just plus, if I get sick, I have that extra little fat. Just. But let's talk about that weight thing. I mean, it's been, and my backdrop changed. I know. Don't ask. It's been like that. I constantly get reminded of that too because I am trying to live healthier, and I've had more than one discussion about overweight, obese, fat, and all that kind of stuff. Because in this society, it is quickly said that somebody is fat or overweight, while they are just normal. Like being skinny doesn't mean healthy, but you know, how do I explain this? I'm just like healthy to me is eating healthy, moving the amount that you need to move, and being active is kind of the movement too. But like making choices that are good for you instead of just doing things because you you know it's easy, or like I like fast food, so I'm just eating it a lot while you know that it's not good for you to do it every day. And in a lot of ways, that's with everything. If you take everything too much, it's not good for you. So that's the same with grease. And I'm always kind of like healthy can also be just like instead of frying something, steam it, or you know try something else. Make it in a different way. Grilling is very good too because there's less fat there too. So just look at things that you think is a better way to do it. You want to become vegetarian, that's an option. I do believe that you need some meat in your life, in your diet, but it's more because I still do it, and I do try to do like 2 days or like meat free. Also because I want to teach my children that you don't always have to eat meat. That's not necessary. But it's all, again, your own opinion because there are so many opinions like what is healthy, what is good, what would you eat. Like somebody said, no, it was I think it was somebody on TikTok that I saw it do. Like he's he was following like certain people that said like, oh, you can't eat broccoli anymore because broccoli is bad for you, or you can't eat that because it's bad for you. And then there was even somebody said like, don't drink water because water is bad for you. I think it's the same with everything. Like too much is too much. I don't know. I mean, it's your opinion, your body. It's your decision what you put into it and what you believe is healthy for you. Because everybody is different, and system works different. I mean, I have a thyroid problem, which means that it's working too slow, so my hormones are like producing stuff, but it also makes me gain weight easier. So, like, I'm trying to lose weight, but well, I'm not really trying to lose weight. I'm trying to stay level at the moment. That's kind of more important to me. Again, because I think that's healthier, and I sport mostly because I want to stay mobile. Because of my disease, my immune system gives me like pains and everything in my arms and legs. And if I work out more, it gives me less pains and less struggles with it. So I think that's the reason why I work out so much, because I've noticed if I don't, I am getting more pains. I'm getting less mobile, and I'm over 40 now. Just so I need to think about it. And after a while, your metabolism changes and all that kind of stuff. You'll get older, and I'm kind of starting to like. There was a moment where I was like, "Oof, I'm getting older," and like things are starting to hang more. And that's also with like working out. You can work your ass off, but skin is getting older. You can fix it. I mean, nowadays you can fix anything, but it's a way of life too. Like I'm starting to get wrinkles, and I have like a scar under my eye that makes them even more visible at one side. You can't really see here, but anyway, I'm not gonna zoom in. But I'm starting to like embrace them more because it's part of me. I'm starting to change, and that's okay. I mean, change is good. Like we need to constantly be evolving and changing to make ourselves better people. I mean, I've made mistakes, even with like treating people a certain way. I made mistakes. I'm not. I'm human. I'm seriously human. That's what happens. So, but just try to. If you go on a diet, I always hate the word diet a bit. Try to change your eating habits instead of going on a diet. Because if you change your eating habits, it's gonna be a routine. It's gonna be your life again, and that's how you can get a healthy life and even lose weight in certain things. But there's enough diseases and enough things out there that make you not be able to lose weight, because you can go to a dietist, and if they don't understand that, then they can give you a diet with like the lowest calories or like keto or whatever is out there, because I don't really believe that kind of stuff a bit. But it will not work because your body works differently. And it's hard. And I understand that. And if you see all the tabloids and all that kind of stuff, you need to be skinny. Which kind of gets me to a point like, why is it like the bigger people always get the comedian roles? Like, it's hard for them to have to see. I still have to look just to watch the whale. Apparently, it's a very good film, so I want to see that just to see it, like what it is, because it kind of bothers me a bit. Like if there's a happy couple, there's always thin people. I don't know. I still need to. It might be just something that I'm stuck with at the moment, because I'm one of those people that feels things and sees things, and you know, it's just a feeling, probably. Done with this one. Last one of today, because I don't want to make this too long. That's most people are gonna cut off. This is just, again, I just want to get some thoughts out there. Start like maybe a podcast. I don't know. This is more like a daily feelings, things, stuff. Anyhow, I want to talk tattoos. Let's just start tattoos. Let's just do it. I mean, I could start music, but that's just, it's gonna be a big one. tattoos, it's still in a lot of ways, it's still also like not general. I mean, if you watch so many people fully tattooed, I mean, I'm fully tattooed, so my leg is full too. My other leg is getting full. But there are still places and spots where they look at me like, she's scary. Well, no, I'm not. I started getting tattooed in, I don't know, I started when I was 19, but like really getting heavily tattooed, that was a little bit later. But it was more to me like I was that little wallflower. I was just, nobody should look at me, and I still sometimes have that feeling like you don't have to look at me when I'm in a room. It's like it's not about me. Just, but it was also a way for me to like get people to talk to me, because I did notice that if people had tattoos, they always had an opinion about it. Like even if it was good or bad. I mean, I had the bad ones, I had the good ones. A lot of people say like, "Oh, I really love your tattoos," and there's people that actually said to me like, "And you're a mom," and then all I want to say is like, well, everything still works. I can still be a mom. I mean, yeah. Like, what's changing? And I think my kids don't want to get to do so. That's something to. And if they want, when they're 18, because I am one of those moms that it's like, I'm not giving you early access to tattoos. If you really want a tattoo, you can wait till you're 18, because then you really, really, really are sure that you want it. Because despite that, it's easier for me to get one, and I think I read it from Kat from these. She said like it's not necessarily an addiction. It's more like if after you have a lot of tattoos, it's easier to get one, because it's like, well, I already have so much. Like, so I think it's that. But my tattoo artist said it to me like, if you really want a tattoo, you can wait. Like a waiting list. If you really want that tattoo, it doesn't matter. Like in the long run, you're gonna be like 80. So what's like waiting a month or 2 months, or that's nothing compared to like the age you are. And I also had the discussion with a woman, and she said like, "Oh, I'm 50 now. I can't get a tattoo anymore." I was like, "Yeah, but if you get it at 30 or you get it at 50, it's still gonna be there at 80. It's not. It's actually gonna look better when you get it when you're 50, because it's not, you know, tattoos fade and it's less faded than I don't know." And then you have the people like, "Oh, what are you gonna look like when you're 80? Probably saggy skin with colors on it. I don't know. Do you know what you're gonna look like when you're 80 without tattoos?" I probably don't know either. Well, you can have those filters nowadays, and you get to get like the face tune thing. Then you're old. But it's yeah. I'm like, I love tattoos. I can nerd out about people's tattoos. Like if I see an artist have a certain tattoo, I can really try to look at details on it. That's my art side. That's gonna be for another blog podcast. What is this? I still don't know what this is. But I also like just to see the details. And I keep saying this to a lot of people, because apparently I draw good things, well, good enough that people think that, oh, I want that tattooed. And I was like, I'm not designing tattoos, because I do not tattoo. I do not know what it's like to put something on skin. It's not the same as on paper. So my advice for everybody who wants to get a tattoo: look into your tattoo artist, see what they have done, ask around if you need to, and get them to design something if you really want something designed, because they are the ones who are gonna put it on your skin. So it's like hard to draw something somebody else drew. So Why would you want that? I mean, you can trace. I mean, there's a lot of artists out there that are very good at tracing, and that's why they are good at tattooing. But making a tattoo pop and like come to life, it's best if the tattoo artist does it. That's just my opinion. Again, my opinion. Nobody else's my opinion. But my tattoo artist agrees. He did a lot. I mean, like almost everything is his. So I have a few that aren't from him, but he's a good artist and he's funny. I like my tattoo artist to be funny. There's that's what you need to look into, and that's what I liked about this one because I when I came there for the first time, somebody messed up my tattoo. It was like a little star, and they messed it up. You fixed it in the end. But I came there and I wanted to get the tattoo here, so this was first, and then the rest came later. But he tattooed till here, but it was still. I mean, your arm is quite a big space. So he looked at me and he said, like, I want to say something before you say, like, okay, let's do this. He said, if you think that I'm a weirdo or like an asshole or whatever, then I don't think this is going to work because we will be sitting together for quite some hours. And if we don't have that match or like that click, this probably won't work. And that made me go, yes, you're the one. And it turned out we had a lot of common. So I bought a bike from him once, like a bicycle. I had to sell it when I had kids, but it was one of those lowrider bikes. It was called the Black Betty. It was a beautiful bike, by the way. So yeah, but if you ever want tips on tattoos, I mean, I'm not a tattoo artist, but I do have experience getting tattoos, so I can just say what I want to say. I finally also had that second skin. I mean, I've got tattooed in America, and they finally gave me like the second skin because my tattoo artist is like, it needs to air dry. Like, it's a scar or like a wound. It's not a scar. A scar is when you cut it. It's a wound, and it needs to air to you know get better. Which, in my opinion, is right. But that's why I'm not used to the second skin. So I had it for the first time. I was like, what the hell is this? This feels weird. This is weird. But I saw this at somebody else and she said it like, listen to your tattoo artist. And if you're like, because I don't get that anymore, like the information, like, oh, this is how you need to clean it because, well, he knows that by now I know how to do it. But even if you had like questions, even if I had a question like, oh, how can I, because I had like, I got my neck tattooed, and I was like, okay, so how do I clean this now? Because I want to wash my hair, and but ask those questions. I mean, it's very important to keep asking those questions, and not be like, I'll just do something, because you don't want a tattoo to get infected. You really don't want that. Anyway, if you have any questions, any things you want to say, do whatever, I love to hear it. And well, if you all like this, then I might do another one with other subjects. What do you want to talk about next time? I also want to talk about special needs kids, what it means to have an autistic child, because it's definitely something different. And there's still other things I want to really talk with somebody one day about the workout and like how they stand, like what is a lot of workouts, what is not, and all that kind of stuff. I'm just curious about all of you, and as I said, I want discussions. I love to have a discussion, and it's a discussion. Again, I'm not trying to change your opinion. You're not trying to change my opinion. We can both disagree with each other and still have a normal, good conversation. So, with that said, I want to wish you all a very good day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.